Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us here online and on News Center Maine Plus. Meteorologist Ryan Breton with an update on what's going to be a busy weekend of weather around here. We have a collision of the air masses. Fairly mild out there today, but cold air is building down from the north, and that's really the key to this forecast. Warm air is going to try to come up from the south, but it will really not have much success doing so until Monday. And along this boundary between the two, there will be waves of precipitation over the weekend. It's not one consolidated storm, but we'll get a round of snow Saturday morning, a bit of a break Saturday night, and then this lifts back north with more of a wintry mix as we get into the day on Sunday. Look at the temperature contrast over the northeast. For example, Saturday afternoon, we will be around or below freezing here in northern New England, but summer warmth will not be far away. Fairfield County, Connecticut, New York City, all of eastern Pennsylvania will be in that warmth. And it tries to move north, but it really struggles doing so. And because of that, we'll have waves of precipitation traveling north and along it. So the position of this boundary is pretty important to the forecast, and it has moved slightly south today. And as a result, we have moved the snowfall forecast a bit south as well, which we'll show you in a moment. This is midnight Friday night, and at that point most of the state will be dry. After midnight, though, snow developing in about the western half of the state, and it will be cold, so this snow will be able to accumulate. Ground temperatures will be cold, the air will be cold. This is the map at 6 a.m. Probably some decent snowfall rates in here, around an inch per hour in spots, but this struggles to make it far north because, as I mentioned, it's really just a band of precipitation setting up over northern New England, and it can wiggle a little bit, but it never really makes it much farther north from Bangor. And by the way, there is actually a partial solar eclipse at sunrise tomorrow, which you've got a shot at seeing briefly in northern Maine if there's enough breaks in the clouds. The rest of us will not be seeing that, though. It snows steadily during the early and mid-morning, but then after that, this starts to settle south. There will be some sleet that falls over parts of York County, especially south of about Biddeford, and that will cut down on the amounts there. But from Portland north, we're looking at mostly snow from this first round of precipitation Saturday morning. By noon on Saturday, things start to lighten up, and there may actually be some sunshine over northern Maine, while the rest of us remain in the clouds, and there could be a little freezing drizzle or some mist in spots in southern New Hampshire and down around Kittery, but we should get a break in the steady precipitation for a while midday. Few showers come through during the afternoon, but again, not much action Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. See that band of what will be sleet and freezing rain and some plain rain, likely just to our south Saturday at 8 p.m. So most of this accumulation is on the ground by early afternoon on Saturday, the steadiest of the snow falling during the morning. And as we mentioned, we have pulled this south a bit. So Portland is in the 3 to 6 inch zone, and it goes to about Augusta. And then once you get to Waterville, Bangor, around Penobscot Bay, 1 to 3 inches of snow. And then on the flip side, there just isn't much moisture, so probably not much accumulation at all for places like Lincoln, Millinocket, and far down east. Highest amounts are likely to be around the Oxford Hills into the White Mountains of New Hampshire, 6 inches or more of snow possible there. And then in southern Maine, you do get enough precipitation, but some of that will be in the form of sleet, especially about Biddeford or Old Orchard Beach south. So amounts probably taper down to 1 to 3 inches and very little south of York on the seacoast of New Hampshire, where there may be a bit more sleet than snow. Now let's pick up the story again Saturday night. So most of the state is fine Saturday evening, 10 p.m., and we're dry with some partial clearing to the north. But that front to the south then starts to ease its way back north late Saturday night into Sunday morning. And by this point, the atmosphere has changed its configuration. When we have all snow falling Saturday morning, the whole atmosphere will be below 32 degrees. In this case, we have warmer air moving in the loft while it's still cold near the ground level. So the precipitation on Sunday is more likely to be in the form of sleet and perhaps some freezing rain, maybe a bit of snow on the leading edge of this precipitation. It won't be all that heavy, and also on Sunday, the wind begins changing direction. So southern Maine, especially from Casco Bay south, the temperatures may start to rise to near or above freezing while it's still below freezing inland. So there may need to be some more road treatments on Sunday, especially as this icy mix comes through in the afternoon and Sunday night. Now, some of the computer models have been suggesting during the day on Sunday we could see freezing rain. Pretty challenging to do in the springtime because there still is some solar radiation that gets through the clouds, so the ice may not accrete as efficiently if it's 31 or 32. That said, once the sun goes down Sunday night, from central New Hampshire into interior Maine, this could be more in the form of freezing rain. And if we get several hours of freezing rain Sunday night inland, there could be enough to weigh down a few limbs and power lines. That is more of a concern, though, in New Hampshire and Vermont. At the same time, Sunday night, the warm area starts to move in, and we just have plain rain along the coast Monday morning. And then during the day on Monday, we all get into the warmth, and we'll just have rain showers around. Could be a bit icy first thing in the morning far inland, but your Monday, there should be very few weather issues as temperatures will be warming up quite a bit. This is a look at the freezing rain potential. And again, notice where it's highest. This is where you'll get freezing rain Saturday night and much of the day, and perhaps even into Sunday night in parts of central New Hampshire over into the upper valley and around the spine of the Green Mountains. That's where there could be more than 3/4 of an inch of ice accretion. And in the places where that happens, power outages are likely. But notice you don't see those numbers in Maine. Maybe 1/4 of an inch in spots, which we can probably handle. Now, if we end up being cold enough during the day on Sunday for more freezing rain, then we could have some issues in Maine. But right now, we think the biggest problems will be in New Hampshire and Vermont, and we probably avoid a big issue with freezing rain. But it's a fine line. A degree or two can make all the difference. You just have to stay with us through the weekend. But for now, the biggest concerns for power outages on Sunday look to be to our west. Either way, even if there is an issue with freezing rain, the temperatures on Monday surge. So this will not be like a winter ice storm where you get trees and lines coated with ice and it stays on them for days. Whatever does stick will then melt away on Monday. So hopefully that in and of itself will help avoid any big issues in the places that do get a lot of icing, because you're not looking at it clinging to trees and lines for days and days. Monday does look like a much milder day. So we'll sum it up here in the 7-day forecast. Again, you have a round of snow, especially central and southern Maine Saturday morning, but from north to south in the afternoon it does start to dry out. Saturday night, we'll have a little bit of a light wintry mix in southern Maine and over into southern and central New Hampshire that gradually starts coming back north during the day on Sunday. Overall, travel on Sunday is probably doable as long as roads are treated. We don't see this being a big travel impact, but we'll have to watch to see how much of that falls in the form of freezing rain, especially Sunday night. And then the warmth surges in Monday, and we do get a little bit of a break with sun returning early next week. That's our forecast. Stay with us all weekend long on our News Center Maine newscast, and you can always get the forecast on News Center Maine Plus. Have a good weekend.